We can hear you, but we can't see you, Madam President.
I see her.
I don't know why you can't
Here?
see me.
Yeah, I can see her
I
also.
can see you guys.
I can see you too.
We are recording.
Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our part 2 of our Small Business Empowerment Fair, Sheltered In, Not Counted Out. So you might be in, but you might be out of the mix from being outside, and you are sheltered in, but you are definitely not counted out. And we feel that you are so much important to what's happening, even though we are going through COVID-19, that it is important that we still reach out to our small businesses. So the purpose of this outreach is to provide small businesses with an overview of business opportunities to provide the Central City of Detroit services. The services will remain essential throughout this COVID-19 crisis and post the COVID-19 crisis. So myself and Councilmember Ayers and all of our panelists wanted to provide small businesses with current and new opportunities for business investment and development. So we are here today. This is part 2, and we will continue on with part 3 once we end part 2 today. Member Ayers.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to take an opportunity to thank everybody that's joining us on our panel, but most importantly, to thank everyone that's calling in. We had a wonderful turnout last night with over 65 people that called. And so I see that the screen is filling up again, so more people are calling in. You all have to excuse me. Last night I was in my dining room. Today I'm here at the COVID-19 testing center. So we're still working for you. We're still caring about you. And this is what real work looks like. And so that's why Council President and I are still hosting our small business empowerment fairs, because we're all going to get through this together. So thank you, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you. And as I always say, like winter, spring, summer, and fall, this is a season, and this too will end. So we're gonna start off with our Civil Rights, Inclusion, and Opportunity Detroit Business Opportunity Program overview. And again, we thank you all for being here with Councilmember Ayers and your Detroit City Council President, Brenda Jones. We want to, before we kick it off, thank again all of our panelists who are here with us today, as well as our staff who have worked hard to make sure that we still continue to come to you and give you all of the information. So again, we're going to kick it off with Civil Rights, Inclusion, and Opportunities Detroit Business Opportunity Program Overview. Ariel, kick it off for us. Take Ariel off of mute.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Council President, for having me. Was there some slides that are going to come up here?
I'm sorry, Ariel?
There were some slides. Are we going to put the slides up or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you can just see slides once they put them up.
Did you have slides, Ariel, or were they supposed to be provided?
They're in mine.
Me and Tony have the same deck.
Oh, okay.
But while we're getting the slides up, the Civil Rights, Inclusion, Opportunity Department, one of the things that we do, just so that everyone is aware, is we manage our language access program. So during this time, we make sure that all of the information that the city puts out that is vital to each of our residents is translated into their native language. And the languages that we've been translating is Spanish, Arabic, and Bangla. And if you ever need any of those services, if you have any needs that have not been met and you are disabled, on the City of Detroit website, and there are different forms you can fill out in order to get that support. So our business opportunity program, one of the things that we're responsible for is giving businesses their certification so that they are able to get equalization credits in an effort to be able to go and get contracts to be able to do business with the city. And so some of those certifications include a Detroit-based business, a Detroit headquartered business, which means that your headquarters, your administrative center is based in the city of Detroit. Also, we have our minority-owned business, women-owned business. We have joint ventures and mentor ventures, which are an opportunity for businesses to work together where one may have more resources that the other may need in order to effectively pursue a contract. And so one of the businesses have to have one of these certifications that we're getting ready to explore today. And so slides are getting ready to come up here, and we can go through these in a little bit more detail. We're going to go through what the application process looks like, as well as the materials that you will need to have in place. Currently, we are still issuing certifications virtually. So you can apply on our website, and that link will be shared towards the end of my presentation. You will be able to communicate with our team virtually, and we're even conducting virtual site visits. And so the virtual site visit will require you to go to your place of business so that we can see the address and see inside of your business. But you would be the only one there. So we would operate that that virtual site visit via Skype or via Zoom so that we are able to push forward with your certification process. The next slide, please. The next slide is just, again, our mission statement to provide excellent service to everyone who lives, works, or plays, does business in the city of Detroit, advocating for that inclusion and increased opportunity for Detroit businesses. And we'll go to the next slide. The goal of our business opportunity program, which is one of the several divisions that we manage in the Civil Rights Department, is to promote that growth for Detroit's businesses and making sure that you're visible, that you have the capacity to be able to actually get opportunities and execute those opportunities and with excellence, so that you can even scale your business and grow, and making sure that you're able to combat the barriers that usually exist for small businesses that exist in the city of Detroit. Next slide. So again, some of those businesses some of those certifications I was trying to quickly think of off the top of my head was a Detroit-based business and Detroit headquarter business. And we're gonna go through the equalization credits and what they mean shortly. But Detroit-based business and Detroit headquarter business, the thing that makes them, that separates the two is headquarter requires that your administrative center, which is where all of your leadership team operates 40 hours of their work from, is located in the city of Detroit. Detroit-based business is a little bit different. And so I just always like to explain that to make sure that it's clear. A Detroit small business, meaning that you have to make under a certain threshold depending on the industry that you work in. And so it could vary if you are a service company versus a construction company on what that scale is. And all of that information is provided on the website as well. A Detroit resident business is a business that has at least 4 employees, and at least 51% of them are Detroit resident. Detroit-based micro business, Detroit startup, minority-owned business, women-owned business, mentor venture, and joint venture, which I mentioned prior. And so I mentioned the equalization credits, and what this means is that you are your bid is able to receive a certain amount of percentages towards your contract that will help you with a more likelihood of being able to win your bid. So for instance, if you're a Detroit-based business and you're a Detroit resident business and you're going over a contract that is less than or equal to $10,000, then you now have 10% of equalization credits going towards your bid. So that is very, very significant when you're trying to compete with other businesses to get that opportunity. So we take this we take these certifications very seriously, which is why we require the site visits and all the information that we do, because we want to make sure that we are investing in businesses that are truly located in the city of Detroit. So all of this information, again, is available on our website. And I'm definitely available for additional questions. And I believe this is recorded as well. So I won't go into great detail on that one. Thank you. Go back 2 slides. Go back one more slide. They're right there. The process one. So the application, so the application process right there, perfect, is not super challenging actually. There's only a few documents that you need. You would need to get your affidavit submitted, and that does require you to get a notarized, to get a notary. I would recommend, if you're trying to get your certification right now and you need something notarized, you need to call the branch in which you are. If you're going to a bank to get something notarized, you want to make sure that you make an appointment first at the bank. Don't just walk in the bank right now, because I don't think that they are doing those services just on demand. So please make sure that you call ahead. You no longer have to request your income tax clearance. However, you will have to get a tax clearance on the side with procurement. However, no longer do you have to get your income tax clearances with CREO in order to get your certification. So that actually helps speed up your process in regards to your certification. You have to give us your federal tax return, the first page only if you're applying for a small business, and we need 3 years because we have to make sure that you meet the revenue requirements. We'll need a copy of your lease or your deed, as well as your business roster of those individuals on your executive team that we mentioned, showing that they work in Detroit. The next slide. The next slide, I believe, talks about the pricing. And so the pricing is on a scale based on the revenue, your gross revenue from the year prior. And so if you made in your previous year less than $250,000, then your fee is going to be $250. And then it's so on and so forth. As it goes up, the fee will go all the way up to $2,500 if you exceeded $5 million in gross revenue the year prior. Businesses that have been in operation in the city for less than 2 years and you're able to certify as a startup, you just pay that discounted fee of $250. And then also we work with the MMSDC, where if you have that certification as a minority owned business, then you can get your minority owned business certificate from us for free. Some of the other things that we work on in the Civil Rights Department is we collaborate and we have conversations and events just like we're doing today with City Council, with the Office of Contracting and Procurement, to ensure that businesses have access to the resources needed in order to build capacity on things like getting access to capital and connecting to mentors, connecting to other companies that may be able to help them with combating the barriers that they face on a consistent basis. What are quality marketing standards? How do you look at metrics in order to decide that you're solving the right problems? So those are the things we do consistently, having our Black business crawl and highlighting businesses, women-owned businesses on a consistent basis. And so those are other things that we do in our department. And so if you're listening to this today and you have resources that you would like to share with small businesses and just minority-owned businesses, Detroit-based businesses, please reach out to us. And I think the last slide is our contact information. That is my email address. We do have 2 team members that work on the business opportunities team that will be happy to talk to anyone with any of your questions and any of your ideas on how we can continue to support businesses. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Ariel, you know that they can't see your email address if you were gonna share it.
Oh, it's not on the slide? It's Ariel?
The people that are called in, they can't see.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. My email address is Ariel, ARIELLE .Johnson @DetroitMI.gov. And again, on Facebook, we are at Detroit Civil Rights, as well as on Instagram and Twitter. And also you can search the Detroit Civil Rights Department on the City of Detroit website. Thank you.
Okay, Tony, can you stop sharing your screen, honey?
Councilmember Ayers.
All right, so at this point in time, we are going to go into the essential services supply schedule overview, security, janitorial, ground maintenance, and we have Boise Jackson, who is the Chief Procurement Officer, and Ms. Tony Limit, who is the supply schedule and strategy manager for the Office of Contracting and Procurement. So the floor is yours. Boise, Tony.
Can you unmute Mr. Jackson?
Good afternoon. Just wanted to say thank you for all of your participating today, President Jones and Budget Chairman Ayers as well, and the rest of you. I'm sorry I'm not dressed for the occasion. I'm out here in the facility, met with a couple of small businesses that are working diligently to help the city of Detroit on the COVID-19. The small business aspect is a very important one to the city of Detroit, and you need to know that. I mean, we've had some great people that have stepped up, and we're hoping all of you will too as we continue supporting small businesses. We've got companies right here in Detroit that during this COVID-19 that came up and said, Boise, I can make hand sanitizer. I can make sanitary wipes. I know of a company that's connected to us that can provide you masks and can provide you some other things. President Jones and Councilwoman Ayers have both, like some of the other people, have identified local small businesses that are willing to help the city of Detroit. Most of the procurements we've done for COVID-19 have been Detroit companies, Detroit small companies, and even some of the other companies that are not in Detroit have been small businesses. These are not great big companies that have helped us do some of the things with COVID-19 in the city. So I just want you to know, as small businesses, they're very, and you are very, very important to us. Ariel just talked about, before I turn it over to Tony, about some of the credits that you have. I want to take a few minutes to talk about the value of those certifications. If you are headquartered in Detroit or based in Detroit, or if you're hiring, and I'm gonna underscore this, 51% Detroit residents, there are some incentives in our bid process for you. You do get a preferential treatment. It does not cost you anything to continually bid and be a part of our system, not one dime. All the contracts go to City Council for approval, and we implement it accordingly. So the process is easy. You can get set up, and Tony will touch on it, on how you can see bids on your telephone. So yes, you can be remote and see all the bids that we have here in the city. Today's report showed we have 236 different things out there to bid on. 236, $72 million worth of items. 40 of those were under $2,000, and another 49 of those were under $25,000. And the rest of the stuff is $25,000 and above. So there's a lot of opportunity for small businesses. They are very important if you're very interested in it. If you feel that you have tax issues, if you feel that you've got some performance things that you want to sit down and talk about, if you feel that you just don't know how to do a good bid or participate in the program, please reach out to us and we will help navigate you through that. So don't feel bad if you don't understand how to do everything. We will certainly set that up. So I want you to listen closely to Latonia Stewart-Limit as she goes through the supply schedules. She'll tell you a little bit about what it is and why we're doing it. But I just want to underscore there's a lot of appetite, a lot of room, and small businesses are very, very important to the city of Detroit. Thank you. Tony.
Good afternoon. We're getting a slide. Good afternoon. We're getting a slide set up. Ariel.
Good afternoon, Tony. She will be with you momentarily.
Hello.
Boys, is it anything else that you want to add while they're
Yes,
getting the
yes,
slides?
absolutely. I want to talk to many of you about what our philosophy is going forward, supported by council. We, for years, have been doing contracts that only lasted for 1 year. And they were very small. And we heard from many of you at these different forums that by the time you get a 1-year contract and you hire the right people and get the right equipment, you know, you can't keep people because they don't have any assurance that they're going to have a job tomorrow. Okay. And these are our Detroiters and otherwise. So this supply schedule process that City Council has supported, they challenge us exclusively on what they will accept. So we put together this process, and this is the first time in a long time something this great has happened, and City Council endorsed this, providing that we get Detroit companies into this loop. They're willing to allow me to put longer term contracts in place, providing that I make sure that we got Detroiters in this process, and most of our supply schedules will be based off of Detroit companies. And you should take advantage of that, whether janitorial facilities and all of the others. And as Tony going through this, and Tony, let me know when you're ready, we will make sure that you're involved. You don't have to be a great company. You don't have to be in a business that's been here for 10 to 20 years. All you got to do is be a good company that's willing to deliver the requirements.
Thank you, boys.
Okay.
Oh, no, if you weren't finished, you can carry on. I would just wanted to make sure I told you thank you.
Okay. Tony, are you there or you want me to continue?
Here, go ahead.
Okay, so let's talk about what Detroit supply schedules are. So then this again, these are long-term contracts. So basically we'll have multiple companies and we'll have a period of time, 5 years, that these contracts will be in place. So Latonia Stewart Limit will do the bid. If you're interested, she'll qualify you and then we'll put you on the list. 30% of the Detroit supply schedule will be reserved for certified Detroit businesses. Tony and I will exceed that considerably. I told Tony 1 out of 2 contracts that we got in this city has got to be reserved to Detroit certified business. Next slide. So the benefits of it, we will have contracts in place prior to a department needing something. And again, these are things that we do every year that I talked about earlier. The lead time for a department will be shorter. For an example, if you are a department and you need janitorial services, we will have the companies already on the supply schedule, and all the companies will have a period of time of 5 years that will be in existence. And we will limit those companies to Detroiters. We will understand your pricing and your terms. We'll work all of that issues, all those issues out initially,